BlackRock break down the CPI report for me?
All right. Well, good morning, everybody. We're going to have CPI live, I guess, at 20 seconds. So, yes, we are here. Happy to be here. Got to take a look at the markets here, see what they're going to do, how they're going to react. And before the print comes out, like IWM is basically right there at resistance of the baseline 220. So interesting to see if it's going to go up. And yeah, it is going up a lot. Oh my God, a lot. Oh Jesus, oh my God. Yeah, no. Yeah, so it's going up to 223. It's going up there. Yeah, so it's good to see this stuff live. We'll see. We'll see how it behaves. But let's see what Tesla's doing here. Yeah, Tesla's back at 409. Ooh, yesterday was a scary day and nothing ever even happened. So there we go. We'll see.
If you look at it as it was just an oscillation, right? It went really, really high up to the 480s and it dropped really low, but not that low. It's the roller coaster. It comes down. It's that part of the roller coaster where it goes under the ground. They dug under the ground to let it just like go really deep into the dark tunnel. Then it comes up and then it leaves off some more energy. And so it goes up, but not quite as high. And then it goes low, but not quite as low. It's what they call attenuating.
There we go. That is true. And yeah, but like we said on the Triumvirate show last night, everything was really at support. Starting with the IWM, it was basically at the 50-week moving average. When we go to the QQQ, it was essentially still recovering this 504. It was at support. It closed above yesterday. And then we go to the SPY, and we can see on the daily chart, it was holding the daily 100 moving average, right? Every single day, except for on Friday. So now we're back inside the cloud pre-market here and above the 585 again. So this looks like it could have just been the liquidity grab to shake people out of the market thinking it's going to be bearish. It's basically a bear trap.
Yeah.
So
I got the results of the CPI report here, and it looks like if they want to run price down anymore today, they're going to have to come up with some completely new narrative to do it, because the headline CPI, basically consumer price index rose by 0.3% in December from November, matching expectations. So there you go. It simply matched expectations. The annual rate over the last 12 months, CPI increased by 2.9%, which is slightly higher than the November figure of 2.7%. Whatever. So it's all lies anyway.
Yeah. And that's why I always say, like, the charts tell the story. Like, look at the SPY here. Before the print today, look at what it was doing. It was hovering around support for the past 3 days, right? You can't really make this stuff up. It's like you want to be bullish at support in a bull market, and this is exactly the reason why. So who cares about the narrative? It's at support. So just close your eyes and plug your ears and buy, right? And then there you go. It goes up. So XRP is liking the news here. Let's go check out my little chart. Oh yeah, so that's my 282, guys. See, look at this 282 for XRP right there, and we can see it's basically going in and out, and that angle right there. So ultimately, it's got to get above this 285, 286 now. To get a lot more bullish. And then the next levels are going to be 316, maybe 320s, and then 3 all-time highs, right? So this is the zone where I will have to create a new chart pretty soon once it breaks out. But this has been very, very bullish. Yeah, very, very bullish. And it's not really ready to break yet. As you can see, the past 4-hour candles have been at resistance. So still not out of the woods yet, but it's getting better and better.
Oh my God, DNW is just on fire in the chat every time now. Don't get me too bullish. I'm at work and it'll be embarrassing.
Well, you're at work listening to us, huh? That's
a nice job. He gets called to go to the blackboard. To be really embarrassing. Let me show my XRP chart real quick. I just want to show you the magic fibs here. So here is where XRP hit its all-time high previously, about 290. And then it ran down the flagpole to almost $1.90, $1.89.897. And then, so if you just do a fib retracement from the bottom here back towards the top, here is that magic 786 that Kat pointed out that Matt uses and pointed out to me, and now I'm using it all the time. And look where after price ran down, came back up, it just put a wick, it put a toe over that 786, and then went back into its consolidation pattern. Made a higher low, higher high than that higher low, higher low, higher high than that higher high. And then when it finally finished this triangular consolidation pattern and it broke out, went back to touch the triangle and came back up here, almost got to the 100% mark. And where did it test back to? Right above the 786 again. So there you go. This thing is ready to break out. Back on top of that 76 magic fib. All right, that's all I wanted to show you. I just thought that was really cool. I'm doing this all the time now. Basically, if anyone here is old school like me and ever studied Darvis boxes, where you just look for a big block of price and you draw a big block around it, you're like, oh, well, if it's at the bottom of the block, you buy, and if it gets to the top of the block, you sell. But now the Darvis block has like all these other price things in here. And I think Peter DiCarlo uses something very similar to this all the time. He's got his whole like look for where, I can't remember what he calls it, just like the smart money zone that he's got kind of marked out in here. You know, like this would be like the smart money zone right here for him. Anyway, we all call it by different names, but here you go. Use these fib retracements and look out for that 786. I colored mine in blue because I like it so much.
Alrighty. Let me just do Bitcoin again. So we're on the crypto thing. So it's right back up to the baseline, or the conversion line for the weekly chart. Bitcoin 98,764. It's right back up there. So it's kind of a resistance zone right now for Bitcoin. So inevitably, nothing has changed with this data at all. It just went from a middle of a range area to a resistance area. So this is looking like it has potential to break. I mean, the conversion line is very, very upward sloping. So this has potential to just pass it by. But then you got more resistance at the 102. But for the past couple of months, guys, this has just been in a range, right? Between 91 and 102. It's clear as day. You can see it in this chart. So the reactions you see every single day, day over day, they don't even matter because this has just been in a range. So I'm looking for a breakout of 102, and even 103 is even best because or even 104 up here to get above these previous highs. And that would be great. But in the meantime, it doesn't really matter what the news is because it's still just in a range.
I want to show my Bitcoin chart real quick. The same thing, basically, from my wave 2 bottom to the wave 3 top that I've identified here. I did a retrace, 100% at the wave 3 top, 0 at the wave 2 bottom where it started, 49,647. And it went up to the top, and it basically just came back down to this 70.2%, maybe just a little wick below it. Never went all the way back to the 618. And so it's just been kind of bumping around here between 886 and then the 70.2. And so basically it's back on top of the 786 here, 95,799. I'd say if it can just get, I guess, the 886 this time because it had that wick before. If you can just get over this 886, 101, 670, and show it as support again, then we can take off again, and we can get more than 108,000. And I'm kind of looking for this. Here's Matt's 0 to 100, a 141.4% extension would take it to 116 next. That's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see 116 test back to 108, and then this can be my new one too for the wave 5. I showed that chart last night, and I think I published that chart publicly, or if I haven't publicly shown it, I'll be showing it very soon. I think, Matt, if you don't have a burning need to do any particular charts, why don't we just start doing requests today? We'll try to do as many as possible.
I mean, we can start with Tesla though, because you are the Tesla tracker. So
I am the Tesla tracker. Let's see. Just a quick, before I do Tesla, I just want to show, people are asking about Lunar. I did this chart just yesterday, and I like the way it's going. I also see LUNR, Intuitive Machines, as being in its wave 5 up here from now. And I'm looking for the market doesn't know where to grab it. They've got a big sell block all the way from 29 to 39. But I think I'm even for about 33.21. So just a heads up on that. Here's Tesla. Yeah, let's see, 8-hour chart. Yeah, it's just after, rushing to 488, how high can it go? Then bring it all the way back down. How low can it go after that? 373, I was surprised to go under 414.50. Surprised even more to go under 400. It just kind of did that liquidity grab. Back up to 426, and then back down, up and down. And it forms this bullish W pattern. And these W's typically just look like this. You see something like this, like that. And then it comes down right at the bottom, right at the top, right at the end. It kind of pulls down like that, like it's a cursive W. And then after that, it usually takes off much higher than where it started. So that's what I'm looking for here. I'd like to see, I've got my little green arrow here. I just, again, using Matt's 0 to 100, and then the extending this retracement 141% would take us to 448.58. So let's see if we can get there sooner than later. Even closing the week would be great. Oh, that high, but even closing the week above this 8-hour. I guess I should look at the weekly chart. Well, we're already pretty good. On the 8-hour chart, I would love to see it close over the Ichimoku baseline. That's up here at 420. That's kind of it. And then, just, I showed you the longer stuff last night. My Tesla chart goes to a 711 by probably by the mid-July. And that's just because of this same chart again, where I took this fractal of this consolidation period between 2021 and 2022, and then it just repeats the fractal here over these last few years. And so this extends from 0 to 100 over it by 195%. And so here's our 0 to 100, and extends up by 195%, which gives me my target of $711.77. That's where I'd like to see it just rip up to, just like it did back here in 2021. Now it's 2025. All right, there you go. That's my Tesla coverage.
All right, and on my chart here, we can see there's no change from yesterday to today. We'll look at the weekly chart first. And yeah, pre-market's at 409. It was at 411, but that's exactly what I was doing yesterday too. And we can see a couple of things here. The 407.56 is still in play as kind of a resistance for the week, and also the previous all-time high, 414.50 for resistance for the week. So we can see it got that liquidity up there yesterday into the 420s and then came back down, and it might be doing the same today. But the day over day is not what I'm really focused on. It's how this candle really closes on the week. So if it does close back above all the stuff in the 415s, the 420s, or wherever, then I'll be like, yeah, this wants to go higher again. But if it closes underneath the 407.56, then it's still going to be stuck in a range. So I'm not going to get excited about any kind of pre-market move or any kind of day-to-day move. I'm just focused on the weekly chart. But if you do want to look at the daily chart, we can see that it's basically back in the same range as yesterday too, right? Yesterday opened at 414.34. So, I mean, it's basically kind of close to exactly that yesterday. So let's see if today can be an open and a follow-through continuation higher instead of a rejection back down towards the conversion line. So what this looks like to me, though, is just they're moving it sideways to get closer to the daily cloud, and then sooner than later, it's going to go higher, right? So I think it's inevitable that it's going to go higher, but not sure how much time it'll really take. But main thing, weekly candles here is what I really care about the most. So what I want is a weekly candle close above 414.50. Don't care about the day-to-day stuff. It can do whatever it wants. So we'll see. Bullish chart just needs a little bit more time.
Yeah, 414.50, super important. It was the all-time high for the longest time. So flipping it to support will be everything for it to just move on.
Yeah, it'll be good. So we'll see.
Yeah. Happy DXYZ, Matt.
Launch
DXYZ day. Exactly. We have a Starship launch scheduled for this evening, about 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So here's my DXYZ chart, and it didn't quite get all the way down to this zone, which I'm happy for. I really did want to see it fall all the way into this this 618 to 786 extension down zone, or sorry, retracement rather. But it's pretty deep. Anyway, so it's like the wave 3 came to here, wave 4, but then no, a little more wave 3, because this is higher than there. This is actually the wave 3 right there, maybe. Yeah, because it's just an extended wave 4. The whole thing's an extended wider flat of 4. And now we can go into wave 5. So hopefully a successful launch today. And that will bring this launch this into its wave 5 finally. I'm looking for still, I'd say, somewhere around 96 to 85 to 114.61. I mean, and if the launch goes really well, I mean, this could go really fast. It doesn't even have to take like a day or two. It could happen like in minutes. Who knows? These things can get really volatile. These wave 5 melt ups. So look for 114.61 is my target, with a possibility of going to 120 or even as high as 129. But I'll be getting out as we approach 114. Yeah, and then I'll be looking for an ABC retrace back after this, which I'll have for you guys. Probably after we get this done. I don't want to waste time with it right now, but probably come back down to like this 65 zone that they've got a sell order block in right now. Okay, so that's Destiny.
Then there's the LAES.
Yeah, I see that. Okay, so here's LAES. I bought more of this yesterday because I really like what it's doing. I think, let's see, if I pull it back to a weekly chart, it's basically, I'm just watching do an ABC retrace. Don't worry about that thing. It's just because of the weekly chart or whatever. But I'm looking at this top right here. I'm calling that my 100%. I mean, I could do that one, but let's just do one crime at a time. So an ABC retrace takes it to, oops, not that, get this out of the way. 382, 236, 618, and it did a little more than 382, and it went deeper than 236. It pulled the rubber band all the way back down here to this 11.4% fib and a toe below it. So I think it's going to launch it to the 886. So that's why I've got 2344 is my target, and then it's probably going to look like 5 waves up inside of it. My 5-wave projection from the AB and then the wave start down here, the 2382 is actually at 2801, but I'm not gonna. I'll probably try to get out going into the 23s. Maybe I'll hold a few shares. I don't want to spend a lot of time chasing that tail. Once it gets to the top here, looking for ABC consolidation, where I will buy it right back in again. Once again, I haven't done that retrace yet, but let's just say theoretically from there to there. No, don't be on the right side. This is why I don't, sorry. Yeah, I would probably take it back to about, bullishly about $13, but possibly as low as $10.50 after reaching 23.44. And that whole thing becomes a larger degree 1, 2, and then it builds even higher. Yeah, that's it. Oh, I do have a note to myself to watch to see if LES goes higher than 662 on this first approach. I'm looking for 662 for the 1, and then back down to 506, and then up to 1575. Or if it just skips past this 662, then maybe it's going to go for 915 or 1071. But I'll keep you guys updated if we see it run past that. Anyway, if it does stop at 662, then look to catch it at 506.
All right. Yeah, I see LAS and just in a giant range. It's just a volatile stock, so
very volatile.
It looks like support kind of held. So that low if that low holds, then that could be the low. Yeah, let me just jump on ACHR before you, Trekker. Ha ha ha. Let's see. Yeah, so ACHR went down to the conversion line here on the weekly chart, and it wicked through it, and now it's going back above. So that 826 actually was proven to be support, and I was expecting it to go a little bit lower, maybe like the 765s or even like the 755 down here, the orange level of McGann, but it never got there. But it's still not really out of the woods yet because it's back underneath this 702 that I have here, the 899. So I would like to see a weekly candle close back above that 899 right there just to get some momentum back. Otherwise, if it stays underneath it, it might just still be in the same range, and it could even drift lower back down to the 760s. So another volatile stock, and this has potential to go back up. But as you can see here, let me just give you a little visual. Even if it does break the 899, it's still going to run into a lot of resistance in this ARK and the 786 zone. This is a very powerful resistance zone, the 1103. And combine that with the ARKs here, this is probably going to take a while to break free. So even if it does start closing above $9, it might not blast off above this $11 zone for some time because of the strong resistance. And you can see this by this big bearish engulfing candle right here. It was really powerful resistance, and that just means it might take more time.
Yep, very much so.
All right, go ahead.
It's my ACHR chart. I decided to take this as the larger degree 1, 2, these little circles. So wave start, wave 1, wave 2, which gives me this extension. It went to 764, and the 382 didn't quite hold. It went to the 236. So my next target is, yeah, maybe still because it went this high. I'm finding more and more about these. Sometimes when it loses that 382, it's not the end of everything. It still could go this 138.2% fib at 1637. Then back to 1358 as support, which means on the way to the wave 3, 1358 will be significant resistance, which then turns into support later. And then so that's the 100%, and then to the 2382 for $23.68. And then, of course, inside of from here to here is another sub 5 waves, which will probably play out very much like Matt was just talking about. Let's see, something like that, where it's just going to have, trouble in this $11 region. Maybe it gets a wick up to 1185, but then it sends it back down to 1078 or below. But then it finally gets over that magic 786 retracement here, pulls back a little bit for liquidity, gets over it, and then can continue on. Interesting. I've got this coming back down below that 786. Anyway, this is what I see for now. There's a chance I might toss this out as the 1-2 and call this the major 1-2 because it just has a nice big structure for a larger degree 1-2. Let's see. Let's just see how it goes first. It'll make my mind up if it does drop down to this Ichimoku baseline on the weekly at 772. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I still see more things coming for Archer. The 1-2 was pretty fast so far. So I don't know. Either the 4 will be longer, or this 1-2 will take longer, and then the 4 will be fast. Wait for it. All right, we have. I see. Oh yeah, Nick wants to know when my Elliott Wave course is coming. Maybe I'll work on it today. I'll just start knocking it out today. I feel pretty good about that. Yeah. ARK KK and ARK KG, please, says Golden Parachute.
I already got that loaded up. So ARKK here. We can see, I talked about this last night on the Triumvirate with the Cat and Tracker. And yeah, the support held perfectly, guys, the 56.15. So that was an indication it probably didn't want to go lower. And yes, that is going up pre-market, 58.65. The 58.57 is the conversion line. Then you got the 200 week, you got the ARK, you got a lot of resistance above. So not sure if it's really going to break out. above that. But if the momentum is strong this week and next week, there could be some follow through and it could break out. But until then, we got to prove that it wants to break this 60.44 level and go higher. But still, it's just in a range too, right? From the 56.15 up to all of this up here. This is why you see it was kind of trending down because of the ARK and the 200-week moving average. So just got to break above that to get a little bit more bullish. And then ARKG here, we can see that price is going back to this angle and the conversion line pre-market, and it's building a solid base. And like these are the only stocks when they're not making lower lows and they're just flatlining down here. These are the ones I think that have opportunity to recover because it's just been building this like floor essentially for over a year, right? For a long time. So this really has good potential to recover, but it's just every time it gets to the bottom of the cloud, it gets rejected. So I think as time goes on, it's going to get closer and closer to the cloud and eventually go higher. So these are the only ones I think it's acceptable to try to find a bottom here because this is kind of a bottoming process. And I think eventually this will be going into the cloud and higher, but just a matter of time.
Let's see. I've got BlackBerry loaded up. Did you get ARKG? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just doing ARKG. Yeah.
Sorry about that. Sometimes I stop listening to what you're doing to do my thing in the background, and then and I hear you pause. Like, wait, oh, he's done. Crap. BlackBerry here. They've turned the corner. They're no longer a company that makes tiny little things that you tap on as fast as you can with your left and right thumbs. They're turning into a software as a service company, and they're leveraging what they can do with that. BlackBerry, I see it as already having potentially finished 5 waves up here, so I am looking for an ABC retrace right now. A typical retrace would be like 382, 236, 618. That's retracing from the high up here back to where my wave 2 started down here at 201 to this 435. If it wants to be even more bullish, and I do see the trajectory of my moving average 75 kind of coming across this way, maybe it'll actually hold up around this 50 or 55% fib. If you see it come back to 1140, maybe if it doesn't quite get to the 382, comes up to 1140, and maybe the 318 will hold at the 50% level. So anyway, this is one's on hold for now. I'm just watching to see. I might do an entry down here because, the institutional buyers like it anyway. They're buying it slowly and steadily. And then, if you just look at it from the monthly chart and you look at how far it could recover to, just going back here to 2020. Is that right? 2020? Yep, about January 2021 actually had this wick up. If you could just get to 61.8% of that wick, that takes it to 1855, which from where price is right now, that's like a 378% increase. So yeah, I'll stake a little bit of my cash on this and see if I can make that much money. If it comes down to what did I say, 290, that's even more. It's like 500% or more. There, that's BlackBerry.
All right, let me do a couple of crypto that I saw there.
Yeah,
So starting with the doggy here, the Doge, the doggy, whatever you want to call it. It's been building a base kind of on top of this 33-cent zone. And now it's going back up to the conversion line at 37 cents. But the goal still is to get back above this 0.4141, the 786. That's the holy grail right there to get above. But in the meantime, it's just been in a range, right? Like if you just eliminate your emotions and just see what this chart was doing, it was just in a range. And it's like, oh, people were fearing when it was down support here. And now they're getting all excited because of CPI, but it's actually getting towards resistance. So it's just weird how emotions make you view things differently. But when you eliminate that, just look at the chart. It's just stuck right in between 33 cents and 41 cents. And nothing's going to change until one of those levels breaks. So with that, I'll go to Link as well. I see a request for link. And same with Link, right? It went down to actually grab the liquidity below the baseline there, pretty deep. And now it's getting back above the 618. So 2111 is the target to close the week above. Big breakout, got rejected by the ARK and a rejection. So this is a normal process of going higher too. Sometimes people are like, oh, it's going to go lower and touch the cloud or do this, that, and whatever. Yeah, it can, right? It definitely can do that, but I always take it one level at a time. And so far, it's proving that it wants to hold the baseline. So that is good. And getting back above the 2111 is also good. So let's just focus on that 2111, see if it can build a base on top of that, and then go higher. But if not, at least stay above the 1951 for Link. But yeah, all crypto, it looks like it was kind of at support. And now that after the CPI print, some of them are going towards resistance. So we just need to be a little bit cautious and not get too excited as prices recover until they break some of these resistance levels.
Let's see. Oh, you know, I'd be remiss in saying one of the reasons why there's more interest in BlackBerry among our tribe is that Danny did a post of it about a week or 2 weeks ago, talking about we got a red candle signal on BlackBerry. So that's another reason to definitely consider it. It's got the Danny seal of approval.
The red candles. Oh, I see one more for Sol.
Please.
Let me do Sol. So yeah, Solana, same thing, right? It got rejected by the ARK up here, went down to the bottom ARK here and held this angle right there. Got all the liquidity below towards the 50-week moving average. And now it's actually getting back above all this resistance, or sorry, getting back above all the support again. So it's still just stuck in a range, right? And now it kind of has free range to go up to the 209, 210, 216 again. But I'm looking for breaking above the ARK, kind of like what XRP did, break above the ARK, and then it takes off. And that kind of sits around the 230s, right? 237, 236, depending on time, 235. And once it's above there, then it goes, right? But in the meantime, it's just stuck in a range, so no excitement from me. All right. And now, with that said, let's do some more. Oh, I see some MSTR and some Conel coin and MSTX. You want to get some of that action?
Sure. I was trying to puzzle out Reddit. Reddit's tough.
Oh yeah, Reddit, go ahead.
It's been a tough nut to crack. I'd say the wave start was down here at the low of 37.37. An obvious wave one top is 78.08. Back down to this wave two bottom of 49.13. But then it already did 1764 back to 1.5 to the 2618 back to almost 2, and then looks like it went to 3618. I'm looking for a pullback on this, I would say. Just see, give me a 3618. See if I'm right about this. Dang it. Nope, it's 3.5, 3.5. Almost. This is tough. I would look for a pullback on Reddit. So let's just take this back down to retracement from the top here down to the wave two start. 49.13, probably 49.13, 49.18, close enough. And you can see there's a buy zone down here around the 618 fib. So a typical retrace would be ABC down from the top here to the 382, 236, 618. So let's just see if we get that. If it wants to be really bullish, then it would only maybe come down as far as the 50% level at 118.37. But let's see where it turns. I would, if you've got Reddit, you know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it keeps going. It wouldn't be bad if your cost is anywhere in this zone or below. Maybe take half off the table at least to see what happens. So you could buy back in lower. And if it just keeps going, that's great. Your money keeps going, and you got half of what you made profit. You can put somewhere else. Let's see.
Yeah, I see something in the chat. Like, what are my thoughts on the SEC appeal news for XRP? This does not matter at all in regards to XRP. This appeal is for Ripple. It's not to appeal if XRP is a security or not. It's for Ripple, the company. So it really has no relevance on XRP at all. I don't understand why people on X focus on this appeal so much, because the rule of XRP not being a security and all that is already finalized, right? It's just the appeal for Ripple if they sold unsecured, whatever, secured or like unregistered securities at the time, right? That's all the appeal is about.
Does Ripple have to pay money to the government or not? Is kind of what it boils down to.
It's just for Ripple, like it has no relevance on the XRP token at all. So I don't understand why people are like focusing so much on this appeal at all, because it does not matter in regards to the token itself.
All right, well, I've got MicroStrategy on deck here. Yep. So MicroStrategy, I just look at, and you guys, if you've been here, you've heard me talk about this already. I view all of this to this all-time high, 548.20, and then this pullback all the way down to 285.01 as just a large degree 1, 2. And so if that's our 1 and this is our 2, and here's our wave start down here, then you get all of, whoops, all of this. Woohoo! So I'm looking for 697 for my wave 1 for the 76.4 fib extension, and then a crash down to the 38.2% level at 490.92, about 49.91. Then it runs up to the 1382, back to the 100%, and the 2382 for $1,569 from MicroStrategy. I'd say that Michael Saylor's strategy is going to work. And then I've just got a little line here to again, foreshadowing, if wave 2 support is going to be 38.20, that means it's going to be resistance initially as price starts to come up this way. It's going to bang around under 491 for a little bit before it gets over, and then that run up to 697, back to 491, et cetera, et cetera. So if you don't already have this one, go ahead and take a screenshot of it right there. There's the next targets that I've got. The timing looks like it's going to be pulled out a little bit farther because my hyperbolic wave is kind of cutting through here, and the moving average 75 isn't quite turning up yet. So this might take longer than what I've got here. That's MicroStrategy. Do you want me to do MSTX too, or do you want to look at your MicroStrategy?
Well, I don't have much time. I actually wanted to do a request that somebody asked me about, and I'm going to do just Lemonade before I leave. So Lemonade, they wanted to know about it, and it's actually a pretty good back test, right? It back tested the 45-degree angle and this 382, the 3123, got the liquidity underneath there, and it's recovering, right? It's getting back above the 200-week moving average. So I think support looks like it could be in finally for Lemonade, right? That's all I was waiting for, is to get back to its symmetrical support down here, and now it has a chance to get back above the 34.38 baseline and continue higher. So just stay above 31.23 for now on, and this can go higher. But yeah, go ahead and do one more tracker before we go.
I'm going to do Avago for Kim Kitty, or Kitty. Sorry, there's 2 kitties now. Kim Appreciates Life or Kim Kitty. Anyway, so yeah, my Avago, I've got this as the wave 1 top and then the wave 2 bottom. Why does this look like it's wrong? You're supposed to go right there. Okay, so that makes sense. All right. Wave 1 is complete. It might still be in the wave 2 down. This is subwave 1 of 3, subwave 2 of 3. Typically, it would come back to the 382 of 194.87 is what it is now. But I don't know. Maybe it just holds up at this 50% level. There's a bunch of buyers trying to get it down here. My 8-hour moving average 75 is still converging into this zone. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. I would say, you know, if you haven't sold half your position, if your cost basis is down here, maybe sell a little bit to raise cash so you can buy it back if it does come down to 194.87. And if I'm wrong, then maybe about 200 instead, 208. And then it takes off again to 363.60 is where I'm looking for next for the 1382. Because this looks like a good 764. Yep. If it does turn around at the 50% level at 215, I might be inclined to move this up to 390. but we'll have plenty of time for you to see my adjustments on that. All right, there you go, AVGO. And if you just want to get all excited, then my wave 5 top goes to 544.56 now, because move something at some point. 544.56. All right. Well, thanks, Matt. It was a pleasure as always. I hope you have a fabulous day today.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to answer one last question from Nicholas here. Would you guys say that the coins that are above the Ichimoku clouds and the weekly are going to outperform the ones underneath it? I mean, some can be late cycles, so not necessarily. Just the ones like that explode above it, like XRP or whatever, they are going to be the early cycle runners, right? HBAR, XRP, like Doge, all that stuff, early runners, right? So I just think that the potential to go. Sorry, let me just go for another example here. Like Doge. Yeah, Doge is way above the cloud, right? So some are way above, and like others, like XLM, sorry, not XLM, like Fetch or Near or Link, or Link is above, but Near is kind of under. They could just be late cycle, right? So it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just might be a rotation back into them later on. So just the front runners, like we saw with MicroStrategy and stocks, like XRP could be like the MicroStrategy for crypto. So things like Coinbase, they can catch up to MicroStrategy later, and things like Near and Fetch and whatever, they can catch up to the ones that performed earlier on as well. So it's not always a guarantee. Yeah, but in that case, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yep. I just want to say that XRP does look like it's forming a bull flag now, right up here towards the all-time high.
Yeah.
So
previous all-time high.
Looking good.
Yeah.
The previous all-time high.
Yeah, ADA is not under. ADA is over, guys. Way over the weekly cloud. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow, and see you tomorrow too, Trekker. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, everybody. We'll see y'all later. I'm going to go work on a tutorial here for my subscribers.
Good luck with that.
Thanks.